Is Ethereum ready for $3,000? Hi guys, what's going on? In today's video we're going to be discussing the current state of Ethereum and also the current state of Ethereum against Bitcoin. Is the altcoin season coming? That's another question that we will be discussing in today's YouTube video. Let's dive into the charts. Over here we are looking at the daily chart of Ethereum. What we can see is that Ethereum has been making another impulse towards the upside over here over the past few days. This occurred after this local liquidity sweep. And I think that Ethereum is currently starting another impulsive structure towards the upside, and that we might be ready for higher targets. Now, what is important to realize is that Ethereum has been forming a very higher time frame impulsive structure over here, and that if we look at a local price section over here, is that we have been trading inside of a very clean range, which can be drawn like this. And we have been breaking out of this range the past few days. And this range, what we can see while we were forming this range was that it was a very choppy range, right? Now we know that if we are in a 5-wave impulsive structure towards the upside, that the second corrective structure, which is wave 4, often consists out of a very choppy range, which is exactly what we were seeing over here on the Ethereum chart. Now that means that if this was indeed our second corrective structure for Ethereum, then we are currently forming our third impulsive structure, which is wave 5, and then we could continue towards potential higher targets over the upcoming weeks. Now, because we were forming this very choppy accumulation range over here, I knew that we probably would continue towards higher target, because after the second corrective structure, you often start the third impulsive structure. So to anticipate the third impulsive structure and wave 5 of this impulsive structure towards the upside for Ethereum, I decided that after the local liquidity sweep of this range low and the reclaim of the mid-range with this move over here, that this was probably the moment that if we manage to hold the mid-range area, that we should expand towards higher targets. Now, I've been teaching you guys that with trading the range, you always want to anticipate potential deviations beneath the mid-range, which is why we ended a long position over here on the Ethereum price, targeting potential higher targets. All right, now we can also see the exact trade signal that I gave for this trade over here, as always given in the VIP channel. But you're probably wondering, okay Guru, nice that you took a good trade, but what's next for Ethereum? Now, what I personally do think that's next for Ethereum, if we check the daily time frame and we go back to the previous price action, is that we have a very important buy side liquidity high over here, and that this move over here is basically potential thin air for Ethereum, right? So we can see constant red candles without proper reaccumulation before further downside. So often these moves that look like thin air can be purged quite easily for the price. Now I think that there's quite some people ready to short this supply area that we have over here, right? So this is supply for Ethereum, but people fail to realize that we have no inducement beneath this supply. So it's not a high probability supply area, but yet, even though it's not a high probability supply area, there will be many people shorting the bottom of the supply with their stop above, targeting, for example, new lows for Ethereum, correct? So that means that there's probably a whole lot of stop losses resting above the high over here around $2,965, which is currently my main target for Ethereum. Now, in order to reach that target, I think it will be crucial for Ethereum to not fall back inside of this range over here. Now, why is that? That is because after a potential bullish breakout of a range, if you see a retest of that range and you fall back inside of that range, you are potentially going to be forming a bearish AMD pattern, in which a bearish AMD pattern in this case could look something like this, in which this is our bearish accumulation. The current move is manipulation before expansion to the downside. All right, so personally I'm not expecting this, but if we don't want to fall into a scenario like this, it is very important for Ethereum to hold on to that previous range high area like this. All right, so this is a crucial area, anywhere in between 2,450 all the way towards $2,400. It's a must hold area for Ethereum in order to reach my target of $2,965, which remains my main target for Ethereum right now. Now, also something important to realize is that quite often, if you see a breakout of these reaccumulation ranges, if price is truly bullish, the market makers don't offer a perfect retest of that range high, all right? So if we do see a retest exactly at the range high area, you have to wonder if that's actually a bullish retest or if that's a trap before further downside, in which we maybe see a bounce and then further downside, all right? So I prefer that if price is truly bullish, that they don't offer these perfect retests. Because let's say they do offer this perfect retest, that means that every single trader out there can get into a nice position, right? But there's never the case inside of this market where the majority of the market is earning money. If someone is earning money, someone has to lose money. So it's almost never the case where there's more people earning money than there's more people losing money, right? It's always equal. Now, if we offer a perfect and obvious retest like this of the previous range high area, then there's so many people jumping into a long position over here because it's such an obvious play that we have to wonder if this is exactly what is going to happen, okay? So personally, I prefer to not get a perfect retest of the previous high area and to see some lower time frame accumulation over here, which we are potentially seeing already, right? So we can see that there's a range being developed on the Ethereum price like this, in which maybe we just see a quick manipulation phase on a lower time frame over here, which can look something like this, right? In which we front run that very obvious range high over here. We simply quickly manipulate stop losses and liquidity over here. We reaccumulate and then we expand higher towards the next target around $2,800 or $2,900 for Ethereum. All right, so if price is truly bullish, I'm expecting a lower time frame scenario like this before further expansion towards the upside. Now, what is a very important chart to be looking at, guys, is the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart. Now, why is this an important chart? Because this is the chart that is indicating to us whether Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin or whether Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum. And now, what we are currently seeing on the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart is extremely interesting price action. Because on the weekly, we have swept extremely important sell side liquidity over here, as we can see. We are not only sweeping extremely important sell side liquidity, but if we take the relative strength index over here, we can also see that on the weekly time frame, we are forming a bullish divergence, right? Lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the RSI. Now, weekly divergences are often indicating a cycle top or a cycle bottom. But this bullish weekly divergence might be an indication that this bearish cycle for Ethereum that has been going on for over a year might be coming to an end and that Ethereum might be ready to outperform Bitcoin. We can also see there's a huge amount of liquidity building up with these lower highs over here. Now, besides the liquidity sweep and besides the weekly bullish divergence, if we move to the daily time frame, Ethereum is also pretty close to form a bullish break of structure towards the upside, all right? In which if we manage to close today's candle above this previous high, then we have opened and closed today's candle above the previous high, which means that we have a confirmed shift in structure and that the daily trend has broken towards the upside, all right? So we know that we always, in order to shift trend, we need to get a candle open and a candle close above the high that has brought us to the most recent low, in which if we identify the trend, we can see that this high after this low brought us to this fresh low, and then after this fresh low we form this new high that brings us to this fresh low. So this is the high that we need to break, and that's the high that we are currently potentially breaking through. So very important price action to keep an eye on on Ethereum against Bitcoin. After the shift in structure, yes, you can get a pullback, but according to my strategy, if we get this confirmed shift in structure, this is the local low for Ethereum against Bitcoin, and Ethereum against Bitcoin over the upcoming weeks and months should be outperforming Bitcoin. So I think that as long as Bitcoin doesn't puke, as long as Bitcoin doesn't crash or get a harsh correction, that Ethereum is indeed ready for $3,000. Very interesting price action on both Ethereum, but also the Ethereum against Bitcoin chart, which means that if Ethereum is ready to outperform Bitcoin, altcoins are also ready to outperform Bitcoin. So definitely, I believe that our focus currently should be on trading Ethereum and altcoins. And I hope that in the meantime, Bitcoin will simply consolidate and give room for Ethereum and altcoins to outperform as the last bit of this midterm bull cycle before we get a midterm crash and correction before the real bull run starts. I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you guys do have any questions after watching today's YouTube video, let me know in the comments down below. Also guys, make sure to subscribe and like this video, and I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's video in which we are going to upload a very special YouTube video. 12 p.m. Central European time. Make sure to check it out. Ciao, ciao.